Alrighty. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It is TGIM/T. It means Tuesday. So these holidays have an enormous effect on the technical analysis, and we try to get them, straightened out. It'll take about a day, solely because the exchanges and the clearinghouses and they commingle data from yesterday, which was dead, you know, and and then for in the United States, that is. Outside the United States, obviously there was more action, and you can see this morning. Let's see, look, what can you see this morning? What are you looking up? Oh, that's the stock indice. Let's go over to J4X. I know I have the Swiss in there. Let's find the mouse for that. There it is. As you can see, kind of stuck in a little, I don't know, you got red and you got the lines turning down. Obviously there's pressure. Let's take a look at it over here on my Chicago Quant. You'll probably see the same exact type of action, and that is down. So is that right? No, that's a NASCAD. Let's go to the Swissy right there and lift it up for a couple days, and now the dollar is falling again. You can see our work is turning down. You can see we went into a weekly buy last Friday. Let's fix that line there like that. There we are. So it went into the weekly buy last week. We're obviously on the spreadsheet, fact check right there, +1. 1 week in a weekly buy. What was that? 8 days in a daily buy. So we've been in a daily buy since here. Let's put that slash in there also, like so. Do that again. There we are. So there's the daily buy there. So it's been marching along. I tried to go into the sell here, but notice again we had a red and a green. Because of that, we had to wait for the next day. Next day it was up, so no sell. And that was that. And so that's where we are now. Is the markets are the data coming in from the exchanges / the clearinghouses are inaccurate. They're all over the place. Matter of fact, we should take a look at silver. I've been waiting. I forgot all about that. I wanted to check out silver solely because yesterday they showed a range that was just incredible. Let's refresh that. It was like $1.12 or something like that range. It's like $1.12 range. Let's see, where is it at? Right there. There's silver. Yeah, see, they're doing it again today. There's no way we had a $1.12 range. I mean, look at that. Now, okay, now they've cleaned that one out, and now they're putting it in there as the 19th. They're showing the 15th, the 18th doesn't exist now. See, it's just a lot of sloppiness from the banks and the institutions and the clearinghouses and everything else, solely because they don't do the programming what data to take in. So they're taking Sunday night data, they're combining it with Monday data that was almost non-existent here in the States, and you can see right there on the charting program that they're not even reflecting a 18th at all now, and so all this junk is going on in there. And you can see now the product has been in a daily buy from here 3 days back, on the 14th, and it's trying to lift up, but we have our weekly sell, so it's a neutral position. I like to remind traders, 3 positions. There's long, there's short, and there's neutral. And solely because, why is there 3 positions? Solely because if you're a producer or even a trader, in the end result, sometimes you just don't belong in the market. Sometimes it says be long. Sometimes it says be short. Sometimes it says don't do anything. And that's what it all comes down to. It'd be like trying to plant a field in the middle of the rain. It just turns into one big muddy mess. You get stuck in ruts. And so that's exactly it. So you just don't, it's not like, okay, I will plant or not plant. There are some days where you do nothing. So anyway, that's where we are, traders. And so it'll take until tomorrow to get some of this stuff cleaned out. But we can still look and we can see what our math is trying to tell us and try to read it from there. Because some people have positions on and you don't have a choice. You've got to do something sometimes. So anyway, there we are. Good morning, good afternoon, planet Earth. All right, so now let's slide back to the Swiss. And there it is right there. So the dollar is weakening. You can see, the lines are rolling over there. You can see this. Oh, what's really good is you can see both of them now. I got that adjusted today. You can see it here. Again, the Swiss is trying to slide. It's trying to go through the dotted line here. It's not doing too good a job at the moment. And as you can see here on J4X at the same time, you can see, what does that reflect? That says 17th. That says 18th. I thought today is the 19th. So, see, it does it everywhere on the planet. It's all screwed up. So, there we go. Data is important as traders, especially now that we're not on-floor traders. We are off-floor traders. And at the same time, we are proactive, not reactive. And that's really one of those things I always kind of talk about. Sometimes it doesn't always sink in. Is remember, most of you out there are reading books and stories and hearing how great somebody made lots and lots of money on little money because they were on a trading floor and they were reactive. Okay, in other words, orders were coming at them all day long and they were buying on the bid and they were selling on the offer, and it was reactive trading. And what we are in is now in a world of proactive. In other words, we are all sitting in our basements, attics, offices, wherever, garages, kitchens, who knows, sitting in an automobile, on our cell phone, whatever. But in the end result is no one's coming to you, knocking on your window and saying, hey, I'd like to buy some Swiss francs from you right now. Instead, it's the other way around. You have to figure out when to make a trade and why you're going to make a trade, because we're acting proactive now. And that era is in, and I don't see a lot of people talking about it. We are proactive traders, and that's all of us are. Even most of the institutions, say the banking institutions where the trading desks are, they don't have many orders coming to them anymore. They're not facilitating transactions like they used to. So they're not being reactive, they're being proactive. There's no doubt in the currency market, if there's anybody who's reactive, it is definitely in the currency market, because the banks are moving currencies for customers more than any other product. So if there is a reactive universe there, but most of us are not being reactive. People are not knocking on your door or screaming to you from the other side of the house or office going, yes, I'd like to buy some euros from you. No one's doing that. So, and if so, as I have a sip of my tea, if so, that's really great. It's good that you're in a reactive universe. But trust me, there are very few of us out there now in a reactive universe. Okay. Now, let's take a look at the euro. See what the euro is doing here today. And there's the euro lifting up. Again, just like the way the Swiss is heading down. They're supposed to be doing that, because this one's saying the dollar is going down as this rises. And you can see we went into a daily sell in this area here. We've been in a weekly sell just from here. And we'll see, because at this point in time, it gave you a good blessing to be short, and now we're turning up. So we have to wait and see if this thing is going to stop us out, or if this is going to roll over again, that type of thing. And when we go over to, let's do this. Let's go over to, on J4X, let's take a look at the euro there also at the same time, right there. And you can see it's been heading down, 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 and you can see the white line down here at the bottom is trying to turn up with the CCI. Both of them are trying to turn up, just like our work here is trying to turn up. But our weekly is still heading down and breaking the time manifold there. So to me, I figured that they'll go like a little zigzaggy. We got Yellen speaking today. Everybody's looking forward to that. They actually think that they might vote to confirm her tomorrow. The Senate might just vote to confirm her tomorrow. That's right. That's something, isn't it? And so Yellen will be the treasurer now. That should be entertaining. She likes to give money away. Money, money, money. She's world renowned at that. She was Fed chair for a while, and she, the markets went slow, steady. And then when Mr. Trump came in, markets tripled in value. And it'll be fun to watch the socialists in there, see what they try to do. Anything's possible. I try not to. I just trade them, traders. I just follow the math and trade them. That's the way I go. All right, let's take a look at cable. Let's see how the cable's looking here. You can see cable's starting to bounce up too. It's been in the daily sell since Thursday. No, that's, what is that? That's 8 now. See, that's odd. Let's just give a refresh there. See, that's from yesterday without it being refreshed. Now let's refresh it, and I'm sure it'll change. I hope it'll change. No, it doesn't. It gives us a 19th. Okay. So on Friday, it went into the sell there. You see the weekly is holding up very well. There's firmness with that weekly trend. Let's put there's the weekly buy, the daily buy, and then there's the daily sell. Change the color to that. And bingo. Bingo, bongo, bango. And so, let's see what we got here now. Yeah. And let's squeeze it so you can see the weekly. Right there. So it's been in a weekly buy since the 30-ish area, 29-ish area, on a weekly trend. On the daily trend, you can see it is not really doing it. It is okay, but again, we're in a weekly buy, so it's awful hard to take that short. And you know, one thing, you don't want to be long, you just don't want to be short. And sure enough, it sells down, and now it's bouncing back up. We get a green dotted line. You know, in other words, we see the histogram and the white line move through this zero line here. That'll be a buy again, solely because it's in a weekly buy, and then you can another winner chicken dinner. And that's the action we're seeing with the cable. So you can see the first three currencies we're looking at. The dollar is weaker, which makes sense to me. You know, I would think money would be short dollars with Mr. Biden being the president. So that would be my guesstimation, of course. But we'll see. You know, because fundamentals don't work anymore. You know, central banks are the cat's meow. They are the ones that move these markets. The Federal Reserve and the central banks across the planet are the buyers of last resort. They're like the funds and the institutions of old. They are the investors now. So we are in a different type of market. I would wonder if anybody's out there writing good books about that. I don't even look anymore because, you know, there's so much. I don't know. The books that get put out there about how I made my millions are usually pretty short in actual truth. They that's usually so I kind of steer clear of them. They don't usually, unless you know, maybe some of you out there who are reading these things can tell me, are they proactive? Do they talk about reactive trading? You know, did they tell you the facts about marketplace, or do they just keep on telling you how great they are and how smart they are and how they made their millions, but not really filling you in on how you can make millions just like them, like get in a time machine and go back to a reactive universe where money was being thrown at you. Let's see, what is next? Let's try the Turkish Lira. Right there. And second day in a buy. Let's give it a refresh. The weekly's still buried and underneath. You can see that much. So this is going on a third day of the buy right there. We should put a line in there. So what do we got? We got there was the, I guess, what is it? That's the buy right there. And then it went into a sell on that, and now we're back into a buy like that. So a couple of clear zigzags and twists, which is kind of cool. And go like that, go like that. And what else we got going on here? But this right here is telling us, you know, the trend is still your friend. Oh, and the broad trend, the weekly trend, it's telling us that there's pressure on this product. Now it seems to flatline, but still pressure. Who knows? Maybe it'll do another little drop. Maybe it'll be more politically positive stuff that puts a better spin on their currency, which would be nice. You know, it would be nice. I'm sure the Turkish people would be very happy to see their currency a little bit more valuable than what it was before, buying a little bit more than what they could buy before. Let's check it out right there. Dollar Lira right there. And so that's the name of the game there. Yep, you see that. There we are. And so what we see is we see that lifting. You see the white line right there. You see that white line trying to lift up. And you see it getting through those dots. So it does try. It's trying to tell us that. We can see the CCI is definitely firm, aimed over, of course, but still firm. It's above both of them. So it looks like there's some buying going on there. And the Hinky ASCII is at the same time doing the same thing. It's showing life in it. So that's trying to stay up. So we're seeing a lot of strength in here still on this product. Again, we'll watch the weekly, see what goes with that, and follow it from there. But more than likely, this product is definitely in a lucky little timeout spot, which is really nice. It was really horrible to have to watch that for 54 weeks in a weekly buy and going from the low fives to the 8.5 area. Just feeling really sorry for the Turkish people themselves, watching their currency get swallowed up like that. All right, now we will drift. I don't know what we do. We drift right over Canadian. Canadian's been trying to lift up. You can see that there. Went into that buy on Friday of last week. Let's refresh that. There it is. And we'll throw our little green line in there like so. Let's see, I guess it went into the sell. Didn't go into the sell there. It went into the sell here and back into the buy there. And you can see we're still in that weekly sell from the 130 something area, 131ish area, that type of thing. And right around in there, 130 90s, 80s, something like that, and drove it down to the 126ish area. And we're still, it looked like there was some strength there last week. I thought we were really going to see the Canadian go back into, start going after that weekly buy. At one point, I think it was actually firm enough, but it rolled over. So more than likely, this will, curve again. This will find a way to get into a daily sell. And as you can see there, we have a volatility signal going on at the moment, green and red. See how that plays out by the end of the day. We haven't had really, when you look back historically over the last couple months, let's just scrunch this. When's the last time we saw a volatility signal? Let's see. I don't see any. It's been kind of chill. Let's roll over a little bit. I want to see the last time we had one. This thing's been really chill. Wow. None of these volatility signals last. How about that? That's back to September. Huh. That's interesting. So chances are we won't see that by tomorrow either. And I don't even see the last time we've had a volatility signal. And there's July. So over 6 months. Wow. That's very rare. A lot of these products, you see them and they come at hot corners where something is turning. In this case, the Canadian has been really reluctant to stay with that volatility signal through a full day. Look at that. Huh. Interesting. That's back to June. Wow. That is wild. That is back to February. So this thing has not had a volatility signal last. And it's gone already. There it is. Where's the green dot? It's gone away. Where'd it go? Okay. All right. So that's the Canadian, and that you can see the nature to it at the moment. Now we jump from there to the NASCAD, and we start thinking about the oil sector. That's usually how that rolls. So what we'll do is we'll jump down to the NASCAD, because with Canadian up, we're assuming that there's pressure on the oil. And let's go see, there's NASCAD, and NASCAD, let's refresh that too, is also heading down. And due to the fact that that's heading down, we would assume that both of those having that pressure, with the Canadian going up against the dollar and the NASCAD going down against the Canadian, chances are the crude oil should be sideways to down. And let's go check that out. And it's not. Let's give it a refresh to see if it is or not. No, look at that. It's holding up. Holding up in that buy on the daily, holding up on that weekly. A lot of firmness there. That is a surprise to myself. Usually those currencies are very good reflectively of what's going on with the oil market. So let's take a look at that oil sector. That's usually what we do, is we jump over to the oil sector. So we'll take a look at crude. That was crude. So now let's take a look at, where is it at? Right there. That is natural gas. Natural gas is in a cell. Nothing major, but it's just kind of pressing. But look at the weekly. The weekly is very firm in here. It's trying to lift up. That's really a dichotomy there. So it's a neutral at the moment. And I know Robin was saying to me about the weather just seems to be totally off. It doesn't seem as cold, or something about the nature of it all. And same thing here. We're getting Carolina weather for the last couple of winters now. Which is about 400 or 500 miles away. It seems like we're constantly getting that Carolina weather. And then we take a look at the gas oil, the Robo, and you can see here. Let's give that a refresh. That's firm. See, that's also firm and in a weekly buy, and it seems to be holding up pretty well, even with the little curvature that's going on there. It's lots of green dots. And then last but not least, what we do is we drift over to bean oil right there. And we'll give that a refresh. And look at that. That's trying to roll over this morning. There's some pressure with the volatility signal. There's the last volatility signal at the top of this action. And there's one towards the bottom of this action. There's definitely much more at the bottom of this action. And we got two of them there at the topping of this pattern, and then it drove it down. Interesting. And so you can see here, bean oil is flirting with the sell. We'll put a little red line up there just to give everybody a warning, like so. So some part of the oil sector is feeling some pressure. In this case here, it's the part of the crush spread where they get oil out of the soybean, which can be burnt. And so there's that little pressure going on there. So let's put that into the savings account there. And that's the soybean oil. There we are. So that's the oil sector. And that's what usually relates to in the Canadian and the Nasdaq. And it's a little surprising, but they're all very firm still. As much as they're rolling over, these products are rolling over that and the Canadian. We're seeing still firmness in the oil sector generally. I guess you could say natural gas is stuck in that neutral situation. So markets really don't know what they want to do here. Now let's drift over. And now I did see a lot of great stories over the last couple of days, especially with the markets closed. And one of them was with the bean oil and the grains, about the demand that's out there by the Chinese. They're just buying the daylights out of this stuff. So our next stop, when we come and look at the combinations, we now drift over to the metals. We'll take a look at that. Now that's how do we relate to that is, obviously metals and Bitcoin in particular seem to be, a surrogate for the currencies. So we take off with looking at silver this morning. You can see the strength in it there. It's in a daily buy for a couple of days, but has not done anything but sideways to down. We're in a weekly sell, so you can't get long anyway off of this, but it just shows you the dichotomy that's going on. And so that's the silver. Now let's see what Mr. and Mrs. Gold are doing. Right there. Let's give it a refresh. There we are. And gold tried to get into the buy on, what is that? That's Friday, but as much as the histogram and the green line were plus, we had a red dot. And then we fell down between yesterday and today. We fell down, and you can see now we are up higher, but it's still in that situation. And we just missed the weekly buy on Friday by the hair of its chinny chin. It was zeros. Plot 1 and plot 4 are just 0.0000. They're all zeros. So now, let's see. We'll go over and we'll take a look at platinum, because that we kind of think of platinum now, platinum gold spread, as the Yellen spread. That's how we see it, because we saw gold really docile under her tutelage as Fed chair. So we have to wonder how much influence she will have as treasurer, and I would have to assume a lot. And so here is platinum, and let's refresh that. It's also lifting up just like gold is. And you can see it in a weekly buy for, let's scrunch that a little bit right there. It's been in a weekly buy since back in November. And it's been climbing. It's done a nice job from the 9s to the 11s. And gold itself, let's just go back to gold to see what the spread looks like today. Right there. Gold trading at 1837, and platinum is trading at, where's platinum at? There it is again. Trading at 1103, 1837. So that's 700 and like 60 some odd dollars now, $70, something like that. So we are seeing this platinum spread slowly move back towards that $1.50, $2 area. That's where we, $200 area. That's what we were thinking when Mrs. Yellen got out of office. Platinum was trading in that area. So, or $300 area at that point. But when she was Fed chair, platinum stayed, the spread stayed in the $1.50, $2.50 area for a long while. So I'm thinking it's going to try to climb back to that area. There we go. Just thought that it's an interesting concept. I don't know if anybody's talking about it in the metal side, but I am. Now here's copper. Let's give that a refresh. You can see here it's battling its way into a daily buy today. We are in a weekly buy, so you can't be short, of course, but you don't have to be long. You see we've been in the buy in this product since the October area, right there. And so that's the weekly trend. And then there's our dailies again. And you can see we are flirting with, and we can put a line in there for the moment, like so. Like that. And we'll see how that goes. I think we're going to be switching this week. We'll finish Feb off and go to Marches. So, and then we'll go like that, and we will take care of that. There we are. And so that's the metal complex, And that, again, that's a good. Hey, Robin, how you doing? How about cattle? Well, let's go over and take a look at the grains and see what the grains are doing. There is bean oil. You can see the pressure on that. Let's see what soybeans are doing. Let's reload that. It's holding up. It's down a little bit from, what is that? How's that the 15th? Aren't they trading that yet? Let me go back to the bean oil. Because if they're trading bean oil, they must be trading soybeans. Let's just go back to bean oil. Yeah, see, that's the 19th, right? And that's the 15th. And let me just double check how we have that set. Setting 24.5. Okay, let's just take a look at it as a 24.5. Now let's go back to soybeans. And do the same thing. Double click there. Go like that. There we go. And the 19th. Let's give it a refresh. Still on the buy, but the pressure's on it today. So I wonder how we're going to see the cattle. Let's see what cattle looks like. Remember, cattle's not trading yet. So let me just let's go over and check that out. And there is cattle. And what is that? That is the 15th. Let's give it a refresh, reload. And it had put it into a sell on Saturday or Friday night. Remember, I sent that over to you. Let's see what this is listed as. Let's try 24/7. Still nothing. Okay. We're going to have to wait for that. We'll see what they do with this product. I guess the grains are trying to see. Mountain says, let's see, Mountain West says, your J4X has been in the... Is it? I'm glad you said something about that. Let's move that down. Thank you, Mountain. Robin says, blocking screen. Right, okay, blocking screen. Excellent. There you go. So, we're seeing, the pressure here. And you see this is there. But we're not getting any. You know, this is from Friday. We're still waiting for them to trade this thing. So we'll keep an eye out on the crude oil. Wonder if we can see if we see what this says here. Let me just put the contract in itself, just for interest sake. You know, it looks like March crude oil is definitely the thing that's trading right now. Let's try that. LA. Let's see, cattle futures. Yeah, so April's not trading. Let's try the other one. LE. Let's see what Feb looks like. Nah, neither of them are trading at the moment. So we just have to wait and see what's going on there. And what is that? That is Feb. Yeah. I see that what's interesting is April cattle is a buck 18.20. I think we may be starting to think about switching. I don't know. I think we have time for that though. Because what, we're in January now. So, but that's interesting. April cattle is trading at buck 18. $6 difference. $5.50 difference, something like that. Let's see what else we got going on here. So, what are we saying? We're saying here is that they haven't started trading this. I can't wait to see what happens there. Let's go to, let's see. Let's go to, you want to see what hogs look like? I mean, I think hogs, didn't they, the hogs jump up on Friday? I think they did. Or they may have been up more than just Friday. Let's see. But let's take a look at them. Yeah, it was Friday. They did the Friday close in that. Let's give it a refresh. Hey, they reached for hogs on Friday. Hogaroos. Let's take a look at corn and see if we can get some insight to some of the other grains. Right there. Okay, there you go. So they're a little firm here still in the grains, and you're getting a little volatility signal. Last one was a good one. This one was a good one. It's almost like they every other day the two of them pop out, and then afterwards it makes a run. So I guess you wait another day, and then if we get another one with it in a buy, they're going to probably take off on the corn again. Let's do this. Let's take and look at the weekly. The weekly's like 22 weeks now. Half a year almost. You know, back in August, we went into the weekly buy. So it's what's that? 2027 would make it half a full year in a weekly buy on the grains, from the low threes to the mid fives now. Wow. All right. And let's widen that out again. And then when people say, you know, how does this relate to currencies? It's because they have to transact in something. And China right now is the largest buyer of all this stuff. So obviously somewhere along the line it's having some effect on all our currencies. As much as there's not much action in the Chinese currency, they're using dollars. They're buying dollars to do this. Let's see. Let's save that. There it is. That's March. Let's see. Equities continue to trudge higher today. Yeah, let's take a look at equities. We can do that. I'm glad you mentioned it. Haven't seen you in here in a while, Mountain. Nice seeing you. Mountain West. I like that. Yeah, right here we can go through the. Let's go through the index sector. First of all, there is that is the Nasdaq 100, and on Dukascopy they refer to that as the Tech 100. You can see it's been in a daily sell since here. And it's just getting back up to that right now. These are all-time highs right there. So that pressure on the product has been up and down, and now it's up again. And yesterday they were trying to lift it up, and a lot of that bar is a combination of Sunday night, Monday, and today. Now, whereas this I thought was kind of curious is that the S&P 500, let's reload it too. The S&P 500 doing the same exact thing and making its charge to the all-time high, which is right there. And so you can see this is trying to turn up, and this is getting tight, the manifold. So we're seeing some strength now since Sunday on these products, on the two. Now, I think the other two we're going to take a look at will be the Russell and the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And what we see there, where's it at? Right there's the Russell. That's been in a buy, and it's been in a weekly buy too for a long while. So they're not even remotely, like, since November. They're not letting go of this at all, and the dailies have been very strong. They've been winner chicken dinners, that's for sure. Oop, I want to do this. Let me just refresh that. It's those little speculative stocks that will be beneficial. They will benefit from a Biden administration, definitely. And so there we are with the Russell. You see that's been very firm and not letting go whatsoever. And then, last but not least, we'll take a look at the old granddaddy of them all. And that is you can see that it's already fighting its way through. Let's just refresh that. But it looks like it's already into the daily buy today. Nope, it rolled over. Not enough. So we are flirting with it just like we are with the S&Ps and the NAS or the Tech 100. Both of them are flirting with that buy thing. You can see they've been in a weekly buy for, 3, 4, 5 weeks. This is going on a 6th week. And so there's the stock indices, as you say there, Mountain. They are, they're looking firm. They've been acting firm. Let's see, dollar seems to be forming a bottom, and I think will be continuing higher later this week. You think so on the dollar? Anything's possible. I agree with you. Let's go back to the currencies and take a look at that, now that you mentioned that. And which particular product are you looking at? You think it'll be firm against, like, the Swiss and the Euro and all like that, and the British pound, or which one do you think will be it? Dollar seems to be forming a bottom. Are you looking at this? Let me put the dollar index up. Where is that dollar index? Right there. Let's go find the dollar index. Not there. No, that's not it. That's a stock indices. They seem to be selling them down a little bit here in the stock indices. Just a little bit, nothing major. They're still plus by, look, 107 on the Nasdaq 100 or Tech 100. But let's just take a look at the dollar ETF right here. Where's that at? Activate. Okay, so maybe you're looking at this in the dollar index. Let's refresh this. Oh, what we need to do is remove that because it closed in the buy. That's 2 weeks ago now. Yeah, we're in a daily buy. That's for sure. I'm not daily. I'm sorry, weekly buy. That's for sure. For a second full week now. So that matches up to what you're saying about the Mountain West says dollar seems to be forming a bottom and thinking we'll be continuing higher. Yeah, that looks like it. You can see that already in the ETF itself higher. We just need this to get back into a daily buy. It's on the edge of, but has not. So Mountain says AUD dollar. Let's see what AUD dollar looks like. There it is right there. 3 days in a sell. Let's just give that a refresh. And it's been in a weekly buy since late October. Since the 69, 90, 70 area, something like that. What is that? 60, that's 70. So 70, 70, 10 in that area there. It went into the weekly buy, went into a daily buy there, and then, tries to correct, does all this stuff with the daily things. But it's been in a weekly buy for a bunch of weeks now. What does that say on the spreadsheet? 12 weeks. See that there on the spreadsheet? So Aussie spot against the dollar. Now, how is it in a... Oh, it's in a sell. Okay, yeah. And so you can see here the pressure's been on since Friday. And kind of bouncing up a little bit there. Let's see. Mountain West says AUD and dollar are inversely correlated. Right, exactly. Mountain West dollar index, but also dollar pairs are seeing weakness against the dollar. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Overall trend, though, has been, like, when we go and look at the euro and we look at our work, It's been the opposite. We've been in a weekly buy since late October, and it's gone from the not super up, but from the 17s to the 20 somethings, to the 23s. So maybe, and now you can see it's breaking off, like you said, right there. And we flirted, and now we're into the weekly sell last week. Yeah, yeah, you're right. And that action is coming. You can see that. It's the mountain dollar index, but also the weakness against the dollar. Yeah. See, Mountain says also weekly buy for 12 weeks. Time to go the other way. I agree. I agree. Fade that puppy. Here you go. Here's Middle Age. Hey, Middle Age. How you doing? Hope you had a nice 3-day weekend. Could you look at the April live cattle contract? Yeah. Oh, that's an idea. Let's put that in there too. Where is that? Let's go to this. I was mentioning that a little while ago. It's about $1.18 and change compared to the 112. Let's do that. There it is right there. So let's make a copy of that. And then go and paste it. Now let's fill that in. Let's see, that's what's going to be interesting is we got to move that up because that's going to be very interesting. Let's see now. We go like this. And let me just double check to make sure I have it in the right spot. So it's down at the bottom right there. Okay. Get rid of that too. No, I don't have to get rid of that for the moment. Let's go to the other one again. Let's do what you want, not with me drifting off into the skylight. Let's see. Let's go there. Instrument. Add. Futures. LE. Look up. And that is J1 right there. Globex. Okay. And we should do hogs too. No, we're not near hogs, but we should do hogs too. Backspace. H. Look up. No, that didn't work. Futures. Look up. What are hogs? HE. That's what it is. Hogs. HE. HE. Look up. There we are. And April hogs or May hogs. Which one's more popular? Does anybody know? April or May? There we go. Close. Now let's put that in there. April cattle. Right there. And let's see. Then let's do this one. Let's do the weekly also. There we go. Alright, so now you can see here we're in a sell from here. Oh, look at that. It's really trying to lift, isn't it? That was Friday. And we are not in a weekly sell there either, though. Just going to remove that. And we went into the weekly buy. We got a weekly buy. Was it there? That's a minus. It's not there, not there. This one right here. Okay, so that's good. That weekly buy is the same. And let's see how the dailies are. That's fine. That needs to be moved over to there. Is that right? Let's see what that looks like. I think that's still minus. Yep, it's still minus. And so there. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. So right there. And then this gets pushed to there. And then that buy is clean to there. And that cell doesn't exist until there. And then the buy is the next day again. That's wild. That's like Mr. and Mrs. Illiquidity. Right there. And then the sell has perked out right there. Let's save that. And so there's the, let's see, the back months are a lot stronger. Yeah. Yeah, I guess a nice premium to them, that's for sure. $5 premium is pretty strong. Let's see. Let's go back and look a little bit more. So that daily buy started a day earlier there. The weekly sell was about the right spot. Interesting. It's October. Let's see. That's not a sell at all. That never was a sell. Huh. That was like one long buy from back in here in the 110s. Interesting. So that buy signal is like back here. Somewhere's in here somewhere. And so that the back month was in a weekly buy throughout that whole thing there. The dailies seem to, I noticed muscle. I've noticed that the dailies. There, I can move this over too, like so. I think that's the original. There's the cell there. I've noticed the dailies are a lot more important in some of these meets. It seems like it really does. Like right there, there's your buy there. Days ahead of time, like right there. And does that go into a sell? That's a 5. Yeah, so it goes into a sell there. Let's move this cell over. And then it goes into a sell here. And then it goes back into a buy the next day there, like that. So that's kind of, I want to use the word sloppy on some aspect, but let's see, like that. That's interesting. And then that buy, that's not there, it's there, off of that bottom. And then that sell there for that whole ride down. But unfortunately, we don't get into a weekly sell. Now, what's interesting is that if you're just following the 3 on this, I think that's a 3. Let's see what the white line is. The white line is the 5. Okay. So if you're just following the 5 on this weekly, that's kind of interesting. So the 3 is the green line, and the white histogram is the 5. So that pushes it in a buy here. So it was in a sell from here. Goes into a buy here, pushes you into a sell a week earlier, and then see, whereas the buy starts there. You almost want to run a 3 instead of that. I use the 3-5 to smooth this out, and it's kind of curious. I think the math balances out with the dailies and so forth to keep you out of trouble, but I think you got to trust the dailies more than you trust the weeklies in this thing. Yeah, I think I was saying that last week too. That really stands out. Now in this case here, it goes into the weekly sell here, right there, and for 3 weeks it's in a sell. And then see, that's what's nice about the 3-5. It smooths it all out overall, with using 2 different gas lines or algos, and so it's gets pushed back into the buy here where the real game is. And you catch this nice big winner chicken dinner. You can be, as long as it has these wide spots, it's not too bad. I mean, you would be in a sell here, but look at the whipsaw you get out of it. See, that's what's so nice about using the 3-5. So, and then look, I remember that. I remember looking at the grains or something, not the grains, the meats, and seeing that weird action, where it drags you in a couple of different directions there. Does that make sense to you? I'm looking forward to seeing how it trades today. Because I mean, we went into a sell, we went into the buy. No, we went sell, buy, and sell over the last one day. It kept on flipping back and forth. Then somewhere's around like 11 o'clock on Friday Eastern Standard Time, it reflects it in a sell. I sent it over to Robin. It looks like it's in a sell finally. It's a -1 and a -3 or something like that. And then here we are this morning looking at it, and it's holding up again. So, yeah. So I mean, look at that. The 3, no, I'm sorry. The 5 is minus and putting it in a sell. The 3 is holding it up. And we're in daily sells from here. And so, this Friday brought you right back to where it pushed it into the sell. And it's curious to see. And then you see the way hogs are. It really, with that nice move on Friday, and it being in a weekly buy. So you got to wonder. I mean, are they going to follow? I was in the supermarket. Sometimes I go into a supermarket and look at and I pick up meat there instead of what we have around here, and the prices are high. The prices are firm. So you would assume that the cattle and the beef and the pork would be doing about the same in generality, like a rhythm, like an engine, both going in the same direction. Maybe one piston's down, one piston's up. So good. Okay, I'm glad that makes sense because it's got me curious in its own right there. And again, these holidays really mess the charts up. I hate that. God, I warn everybody over and over again too. I dislike that. I really dislike it. And then they change data. Data comes in a day later, and they're changing the day on you, adding more data to that day. The volume changes, and the highs and lows change, and it's like, what? It's like, can't you guys get this figured out? You're a clearinghouse. You're a bank. Resolve this. Make it work. All right. Let's see. What else can we say about that? I guess that's about it. And I like Mountain's point of view about this cup and saucer handle thing going on. Where is it at? Let's go back to that again. So there's the cup. It reminds me of the William O'Neill cup and saucer, or cup and handle formation. And so it's doing the cup now, and then it'll do the little handle and maybe take off again. To me, the dollar, I don't have, I know that the dollar is very expensive, even with it been selling down now for, let's go over to that index again, the ETF. The dollar is selling down. Where's that? Right there. And you can see, we've come down from, much higher points in November. There's no doubt about that. And the highs of the first quarter of March and April and all like that of last year. The pandemic put a lot of pressure on the U.S. market. A lot of pressure. The economies are slowing. Something has to be fundamental, It's nice to see a fundamental work once in a while. So we'll see. At this point in time, it looks like, pandemic possibly coming to an end now, obviously, especially with Biden in there. I saw CDC. What did they do? They're lowering their requirements of what they define as COVID now. So guess what? When you look at last year's death rate, it's lower than the year before. But we just went through a pandemic. Shouldn't we be like, 500,000 more dead for the year? 2 million more dead for the year with what governments have done to our societies? Something seems a little odd out of that whole mess. But so in the end result is that last year was a very docile year of death in the United States. We didn't have as many deaths as the year before or the year before that, before the pandemic. So the pandemic has not really added anything to it. It's just math, guys and gals. That's what we're looking at here. And so it's not an opinion. It's a fact. Deaths are lower in 2020 than they are in 2021. And 2020 is lower than 2019. And the death rate is much higher in 2018. So I'm not sure what was the issue there, but 2018 was a lot higher death rate. So our death rate has been going down, but for some reason we're in a pandemic and they've shut society down. And also, if you noticed, heart disease and cancer patients have been disappearing altogether. The death rate in cancer patients and cardiac people have been enormously low this year. So, COVID cures cancer. COVID cures heart disease. Fascinating, huh? Something to be positive about, I guess. All right, where do we stand from here? I guess we can take a look at a few more, go over to that area. Let's see what wheat looks like. We saw corn. There's that. Corn is firm. So let's see what wheat is doing, because wheat is probably the weirdest of them all. We can see that the Chicago wheat, there's Chicago wheat. It's only been in a weekly buy for here, the 5 weeks, 6 weeks now. 4, 5, 6 week now. 6 full weeks going on a 7th. And you can see the daily is trying to perk up as we speak there, but we've got a red and a green. So that is up with the wheat. That's Chicago wheat. Now red wheat. I think red wheat took off and jumped into the buy on Friday. Let's just take a look at red wheat real quick right there. No, yeah, I guess it had been in a buy. That's what it is. Let's refresh that. Been in a weekly and a daily. So, yeah, there it is. Still very firm and very firm today. So, the red spring wheat is looking a lot better than anything else. And then, let's see, red wheat. Red wheat. There we are. Minneapolis / Kansas City. Now, let's slide down to the feeders. See what the feeders are doing. Yeah, I left that in there from... That's Friday. Okay, we need to refresh that even more. That's the 15th. Okay, so there's the 15th right there. And so we can move this over. A reminder that today could see some strength here. That's right. That's what we saw right there. That strength that was kicking out, but it's 2 weeks in a weekly sell now. And so we'll have to see how this week starts off if it tries to start lifting up. But feeders seem to be being reached for in March. And what can we say about this week's... what should we label this webinar today, too? That's another question. Because we're coming down to the end of it. I guess we could label it as dollar bottoming against pairs. How about that? Something like that? Because it does seem to be identifying that at the moment. Especially with the euro in a weekly sell and the Swiss in a weekly buy. We could say dollar strength bottoming pattern, something like that. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll call it something like that. Let's see what meal's looking like there. There's meal. There we are. So they're putting a little pressure on the meal today too. But it's been in a buy for a long time also. See, let's go back and look and see. That's been in a buy since, wow, is that August? Augie doggy, yeah. And that is meal. All right, traders, we're going to get out of here, and we'll start doing our Chicago thing at the same time. So this is Doc from North America saying arrivederci. Everybody have a safe and smart trading day. Ta-ta for now. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you